There were people there who told me they were measuring gusts of 295 miles an hour and sustained winds of 185 miles an hour, and it went on for 9 hours. So it was like being in a tornado that doesn't stop. People who've been in both a tornado and a Cat 5 say, when you're in a tornado, you know it's going to end. When you're in a Category 5 hurricane, you don't know it's going to end. It's just horrendous. So here we are, we're 4 months later, and the island is like so mixed up. In some ways it's so functioning again, and in some ways it's not. They only got power 2 weeks before we arrived. So imagine being without power for 3.5 months. That makes it difficult to go and buy food. The shops are not open, the businesses are closed, the tourists don't come. So the first disaster is the damage from the hurricane, but the second disaster is the economic one, because so many people had no jobs to go to, so the money stopped too. So we had, there were 16 of us, 17 of us, and we just had the most incredible time from every aspect. You know, given the choice between go to a resort and sit on the beach all day and drink drinks and be completely decadent, or go and have a trip like this where you serve, the joy that you get from serving is just so much more incredible a trip than going on a vacation. So, but we were in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, so we did have a little bit of both. We stayed in this lovely house in St. Thomas from the 1600s. It had been renovated by the church that we were partnered with, and it really was a very civilized place to stay, so we certainly weren't roughing it. This is the beautiful church across the way. What is so nice is an earlier hurricane that was a long time ago, I forget the number of years, maybe 17 years ago, I forget the exact date. Another huge hurricane came through and significantly damaged the church. And our church sent a team out then who repaired the church. So we have a history of serving this particular church. Now in this hurricane, the church building itself survived really well, but they did get major flooding in their basement, and I'll show you a little bit about that later on. The abnormal and the normal are completely next to each other. There's buildings like this all over the place, and then there are buildings that survive. So because of flight prices, and so few airlines are actually flying to the Virgin Islands, United is not flying at all anymore. We ended up flying in very early. We flew in Friday night, spent 5 hours sleeping on the floor at Puerto Rico Airport, and landed Saturday morning in the Virgin Islands. So we had a little bit of time to ourselves. So we went over to the island of St. John. So here we are, we're in a little like tap-tap taxi, and this is the view through the window to just get an idea that this place is beautiful.